Hi everyone, welcome to my old pizza shop. I had this pizza shop for about 12 years and it's been in my family for about 30. I decided to sell in January of 2020 and today I'm going to show you how to make an authentic hand-tossed brick oven baked pizza. Now, these pizzas aren't like you're used to with Papa John's or Bocelli's or Pizza Hut. They are truly hand-tossed and brick oven baked. Brick ovens are hard to come by. Typically in your pizza shops, they're using conveyor belts, which will get your pizza done in 10 to 15 minutes. Or with the brick oven, you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the style of pizza that you want. So first we're going to start with the hand-tossed New York style pizza. With that, we will use these dough balls. These dough balls are made fresh daily. And then we keep them in the cooler. There's about 50 to 70 cases of these in our cooler at a time. Now to get the dough ball out, we're going to need a dough scraper. Now while doing this, you're going to want to be careful because you need to keep the circular shape of the dough ball. So you're going to want to make sure you're getting this dough scraper nice and underneath and do it slowly to keep that shape. So once you get it out, you still got your circular shape. Now it is a little sticky, so what you need to do is then take your dough ball, and you're going to put it in some flour. Press it in to make sure that we're getting the flour to stick. Flip it over and do it on the other side. So both sides of your dough ball should be floured. Flour. Next, we're going to start working the dough so that we can hand toss it. To do that, you just need to make this dough ball a little bit thinner so it's easier to work with. To do that, I always say start in the middle and you're just going to want to use your fingertips. You never use your whole hand. With your fingertips, work right up the middle of the dough. And do that 2-3 times. Once you've done that, then you're going to come around and work on the outsides. Same thing, a couple passes around, just using your fingertips. Now you can see it's a little bit bigger than when we started, but not that big. And the thickness is a little bit thinner. Now we're going to start to hand toss it. Now to hand toss it, you will use actually your fist. You're going to use your fist in kind of like this position, but you're going to use your thumbs then to make sure that your dough stays resting on your fist. So you're going to pick it up again with your fist, but use your thumbs. As you can see them poking real good. Use your thumbs to keep it in place. Now you will slowly pull your fists apart and you just kind of flip your wrist and move the dough around. Now you need to pull your hands apart while you're flipping the dough around to make sure it stays even on all sides. Now typically, pizza shops do 14 to 16 inch pizzas. Here we do 18 inch. So once you have continued to work this out by pulling it, always stay on the outer edge of the dough to pull it. You're going to be looking at about that size. Next, you're going to need a wooden paddle. This paddle is key to getting this, once it's done, into the brick oven. So once you get your paddle, you take your dough and gently lay it down. Now you're going to need to move it around a little bit to get a nice circular shape, like that. Now it's okay if you have little bumps and creases, that's fine. Next is the sauce. I always like a little extra sauce on my pizzas. Not too much, but a lot of the times it seems when you order pizza, there's hardly any sauce on it. Well, sauce is a big part of pizza. So, first I start with one heaping plate. As you can see, it's kind of dripping. Place that right in the center of the dough, and then just a little scoop for good measure. Now you take your ladle, place it right in the center of the sauce, and just start in a circular motion. The sauce will actually follow the ladle. Now you're going to want to leave about a ½ inch for the crust. So just keep working that sauce out until you've gotten to about a ½ inch away from the edge. And then you'll come back in the middle and even it out again. So that's the sauce. Next, of course, is the cheese. And regardless of what everybody says, more is not always better. Too much cheese can take away from the flavor of the sauce. So, when you're applying your cheese, you're going to want to make sure that you can still see some of that sauce. When the cheese melts, it spreads. So it is going to cover all the empty spots where you can still see the sauce, but then it's not going to be overpowering and take away the flavor of the pizza. So you're just going to apply your cheese by sprinkling it. Again, making sure you can still see some of that sauce. As you can see, there are still spaces that there are no cheese, but it won't be like that in the end. Next, you're going to put your oregano on. Just a small pinch of oregano. If you can see, not much. And sprinkle it around on your pizza. Now would be the step if you wanted any toppings. So you could do pepperoni, onions, green peppers. You're going to put that all in before we put it in this brick oven. I prefer my pizza just plain. So now is the tricky part. Getting this pizza off of this board into there while still maintaining a circular shape. To do that, we need to get a little bit of air under this dough. So take the sides and you kind of just flick it. As you can see, there was a little bit of air that went under there, which is going to make it a lot easier to get off this board. You might gotta adjust your cheese once you do that, and that's okay. So now, to get it in there, you are gonna shake this pizza off the board. You need to put the paddle the whole way into the oven. Once it's in there, you will just start shaking the paddle while pulling it back. Pizza is up. Now that pizza is going to need to cook for about 30 minutes. Now next, there is another type of pizza. Serena Pizza is famous for their Sicilian pizza. It is a thick crust pizza that needs to be prepped minimally 10 hours in advance. By prepping it, we put it into these pans. These pans are probably about 50 years old. Once the dough is put into the pans, it will sit out for 8 hours and also in the cooler when we close. But while it sits out from the heat, the dough gets really, really thick, as you can see. And that is our Sicilian. Starting off, it looks like this. This is 3 pounds each of dough that we then work into this pan. So with the Sicilian pizza, we clearly don't need this board, it's already in a pan. You are going to take your fingers and crease all the way around by pushing down and kind of pulling back against the pan. Do that all the way around, and that makes your crust. So you can see how we've made a crust all the way around. And also you're going to just pick up your corners and make sure there isn't too much air underneath that dough. You're one of these forks as well and just poke a couple of holes to release what air is then in the dough. Now this, since it's a lot of dough, requires a lot of sauce. You are going to use 2 scoops of sauce. And same thing as before. Work it around. The sauce will follow the ladle. Now with this pizza, you're going to cook it like this first for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending how many toppings you want on it. So once you get your sauce, same as the other, sprinkle some oregano. You're going to want to get a little bit of oil to keep the sauce from drying out. And then you take this and it goes straight into the oven. Again, that one's going to take about 25 minutes to cook. And then once we pull it out, we'll top it, put it back in for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be done. So, we'll wait for our pizza to cook, and I'll show you the end products. Okay, now it's time to take the pizzas out of the oven. Here's your New York style. And your Sicilian. And that is how you make a truly authentic